Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lauren, and today I am going to be drawing my May TBR. So if this is your first TBR video with me, how this works is that each month I draw 3 books. I draw them out of 3 different TBR jars that I call my star jars. The reason that I call them star jars is because they are all filled up with origami stars that I folded up out of paper. Each of these stars is folded from a strip of paper that has the title of a book that I'm interested in reading written on it. This is my all-purpose TBR jar. It has all of the books on my TBR in it. If you are curious to find out the titles of all of these books, you can actually follow the link in the video description box down below to my to-read list on Goodreads and see all of the books that are in here. Next, I have my series continuation jar. These are all the next book in various series that I'm in the middle of. I'll draw one out of my all-purpose jar, one out of this jar, and finally, I will draw one out of my golden star jar. These are my most anticipated reads. They're not necessarily new releases, they're just the books that I am the most excited to get to. So I will draw one book from each of these jars. As well as the 3 books that I will be drawing today, I will also be reading a book for the Buzzword Challenge, which I believe May's prompt is the word every. So for that prompt, I will be reading Everyone's a Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. This is a really cute, just kind of illustrated book with little comics about an alien who's like trying to understand humanity. It looks really cute. So I will be reading this book as well in May. Now, before I jump into drawing books, I'm going to very quickly go over everything that I read in the month of March. It's actually going to be pretty quick. I only read 3 books in March. The first of which was Independent Study. It was the second book in the testing trilogy, I guess, by Joelle Charbonneau. This is a YA dystopian, like soft sci-fi dystopian novel. I read the first book in February while I was on vacation and just kept on reading through because they were very, very easy reads. The series is okay. I'm not going to complete it. I ultimately decided to give this book 3 stars. I would say if you're really into this genre, if you're really into YA dystopian, you might really love this series. But otherwise, it's not really doing anything new for the genre, in my opinion. The second book that I read in February was actually for the Buzzword Challenge, which was Names, I think. And I read Daphne by Josh Malerman. I'm usually a big Josh Malerman fan, but this, unfortunately, was the first, like, kind of a tank for me in Josh Malerman books. I ended up DNFing this at 50%. I just could not get through it. I couldn't bring myself to finish it, by and large, because to me this book felt like it didn't have a whole lot of plot and we were just, like, stuck in characters' heads the whole time. Just not really my thing. If you like that sort of a thing, you may love it, but for me, it just wasn't my kind of book. And last but not least, I read Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. This is the first book in the Book of the Ancestor series. I'm not sure how many books are in this series. It's a high fantasy novel about girls that are in school, like a magical school with a bunch of basically ninja nuns, I guess, killer nuns. The main trope in this book was like a chosen one trope, so if you like chosen one books, you may really enjoy this one. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. It was pretty middle of the road. It had a lot of elements that I really liked, but ultimately was not particularly memorable for me. Good time if you like high fantasy, but for me, just pretty middle of the road. All right, first up, we have my all-purpose TBR jar. Like I said, you can follow the link in the video description box to my Goodreads page to see all of the stars in this jar. I like to draw stars that have been in here for a while, so let's see here. I think that these light blue ones have been in here at least a year, so let's draw one of these first. All right, and my first selection is going to be The Silence. Okay, I own this one. Here it is. This is The Silence. This is an urban fantasy novel by Tim Levin. He actually wrote Relics, which I read not too long ago and really, really enjoyed it. The reason I decided to pick this up is because I liked Relics so much, and he did kind of like almost like a creature horror fantasy sort of thing that I really enjoyed. This, I'm pretty sure it's called The Silence because it has like the Quiet Place sort of thing going on, which I never saw that movie, but essentially everyone has to be really quiet quiet, otherwise the whatever it is, monster, creature, whatever, will hear them and come and get them, which sounds like a really exciting plot to me. This just sounds like a really fun read. Yeah, so this is a great first pick for me. So my first pick is going to be The Silence. All right, next up we have my series continuation jar. So I think, well, I just poured out like 4 orange stars, so I guess that's a sign. I'll draw an orange star today. All right, and it looks like my series pick is going to be, oh nice, The King of Crows, the final book in the Diviners series, which I also own. All right, here it is right here. I've been working on this series, I think probably for a couple of years at this point, have really been enjoying it. This is I think it's classified as young adult, though it has some pretty scary parts in it, so it may be adult, but kind of like a horror, urban fantasy mashup. It is set in New York City in the Roaring 20s, and this like malevolent spiritual force has been set free on the city and is just kind of terrorizing the people. A group of young people who have these sort of magical, I don't know if you call them magical, but they have these sort of supernatural abilities and are kind of trying to fight that thing off. This book is a little bit thick, so hopefully May doesn't get too busy for me and I can make my way through it, but like I said, I've loved this series so much that I don't know if that's going to be a problem. I'm really looking forward to this, so that is a great series pick. So my second pick is going to be The King of Crows. All right, last but not least, we have my golden star jar. All right, and my final pick is going to be Our Crooked Hearts. Another one I've really been looking forward to. This is a great day for picking books. I own this one as well. This is the sort of creepy bunny, a creepy bunny book, navy blue book with this creepy golden bunny on the front. This one I kind of bought randomly on Book Outlet because the cover just kind of pulled me in. I liked how it, like the sort of unsettling feeling that it gave me. Rather than trying to sum up what this is about, I'll just read a little snippet from it. 17-year-old Ivy summer break kicks off with an accident, a punishment, and a mystery. A stranger whose appearance in the middle of the road in the middle of the night heralds a string of increasingly unsettling events. That sounds really intriguing to me. And this, I don't know, I think that this is going to be a lot of fun, especially since this is a young adult book, given that I'm going to be pairing it with a gigantic book with The King of Crows. I'm glad that I picked something that I think is probably going to be a little bit easy of a reader. Yay, this is super exciting. I've really been looking forward to it. This is a fantastic final pick. So my third and final pick is going to be Our Crooked Hearts. All right, so I think that that is going to be it for me today. These are all of the books that I will be reading in the month of May. I would be very curious to know if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. Also, I'd love to know if you are planning on reading anything you're particularly excited about in May, so please talk to me about it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will like it and possibly subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.